and my name is Marlena.
What's going on, family? Rob Jeezz.
And today we have our friend and fellow entrepreneur Charlotte here. So we're talking with her a little bit about some things that she has going on, what she sees her 2022 being, and talking about all of her endeavors currently. So we'll take it there. Of course, we're going to talk about some things that we have going on for 2022 and within the next couple weeks as well.
Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, and make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Follow our YouTube page. Follow our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook for all things Swavey. And we have some big plans this year.
Swavey, stay Swavey.
Stay Swavey. Yeah. So I met you through RJ, and how I met you is that you created the Swavey yoga mat that we have on our website if you want it. But like, how did you get into that? Like, what made you want to become, an entrepreneur? And like, what is your vision for that look like now? And then, in your future too.
Yeah, so, I guess starting off with that company, it was crazy. I don't know, I think my whole life I never felt like I was going to be working a 9 to 5. And when I was in college at ASU, I was studying a lot of classes that were outside of what I was actually studying. So my major was in tourism and hospitality management. But I went there basically because I just wanted to leave Pittsburgh and try something new, going to Arizona, completely different than anywhere I'd ever been in my life. And went out there not knowing anyone, like not one person did I know. And I just kind of got on a plane with 2 bags and left, right? Yeah. So I was out there, I started getting really into, I took 2 yoga courses, and I took like 5 mindfulness and meditation courses when I was there. Like I said, completely outside.
What is that exactly?
Mindfulness and meditation.
Yeah.
So the idea of mindfulness, the first class I took is called Stress Management 1, right? So the idea of mindfulness is to bring you to the present moment. So being grounded, being present, not thinking too far into the future, which like creates anxiety, and not thinking about the past, which creates like depression. And when I heard that for the first time, like just that one statement, I remember thinking like, whoa, I don't know, I guess I've never really thought about it like that before, and I remember the first time I meditated in class, I was sitting there and we're like watching some video, what's that thing called? The Calm app or something like that she had played. Yeah. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this has got to be a joke. I'm like laughing. I'm like, do people actually do this? Whatever. And slowly but surely I was like, all right, Charlotte, if you're going to be doing this, like you might as well do it right, like give it a chance and try it out and see if anything sticks. This is when I'm 18, I just freshly moved by myself. And I remember after like maybe 3 or 4 weeks, I was like, whoa, this is actually really nice. I would leave that class and be like rejuvenated and be really excited about the rest of my day. In that class as well, we would get really into like journaling and diving deeper into like understanding what your thoughts are. And we were talking about journaling the other day and like how important it is to kind of almost just brain dump sometimes to like get your thoughts out without really necessarily sharing them with anyone else, just to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Right. So that really taught me into like the brain, into the mind, and understand like the science behind all of those things, because I don't know, I heard about yoga and meditation and shit, and I always would think, I don't know, it's this like foo-foo spiritual thing, but it was amazing going to Arizona State and like learning the science behind everything that I was doing and kind of was already interested in, because it makes you more excited about it when there's scientific proof of like the reason why people do
Especially
this.
If you're interested, and you're not going to find the scientific part interesting if you're not interested in what it's actually about.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what makes it, I think that's also helps understanding it better. So then how to handle it, how to go about it, how to approach it, that type of thing.
Yeah, no, for real, it like creates more of like a system in your mind of like, oh, okay, well this is like the study practice that works, so like why don't I try this out because it might work for me. Yeah. So I've had like a lot in my life, I've gone through a lot of shit, and especially moving, like that year of my life was like probably one of the most amazing but really, really hard. There was like a lot of trials and a lot of frustrations and a lot of family issues that I had gone through in that.
I think the hardest part of like transitioning, from leaving from California and coming to Pittsburgh?
Well, are you asking from there back to here, or from here to there for the first time?
We didn't get there yet.
Yeah, I don't know what you're thinking. So you're saying like coming back here?
Because my thing is, because like you came from here.
Yeah.
But then you went there.
To come back.
Transitioning to come back because like you know, for me, because I know you said we didn't get there yet, but like for me, like, you know, like you're leaving one place, you know, you go to the place that you're either chasing these dreams or you're thinking that this is gonna be the move for you, you know, and then next thing you know, you're coming back, you know, back to the city, you know. So like my thing is like, for you transitioning coming back to the city, what was it that really when you thought this would be the better place for you?
Well, I got into yoga at ASU, and basically shit changed my life, right? Everything I learned, everything that I became when I was there, you know, for 4 years, I dove headfirst into all this shit I was learning because I saw how much it was like helping me genuinely heal as a person. Like, I don't know, all the things I had gone through, I was starting to understand why they had to happen to lead me to where I am, you know, which like, I don't know, creates more perspective and just helped me find a lot more happiness and joy, like, and peace in my life. And then my senior year of college is when my grandfather died, and right when he died, I was like, this man was literally just like the hardest working, most dedicated, most respected human I'd ever met in my life. Like, everyone around him loved him, respected him, and he had a lot of money. He was very wealthy, and like, but never, you know, was in your face about it. Like, other people didn't know he was wealthy. Like, he would shop at Aldi's and yell at me for using too much toilet paper, you know, shit like that. But I remember when he passed away, I was like, what the fuck am I doing to like live out this man's legacy? Because at that time, I didn't know what my plan was after school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to fucking work in an office, but like I had no idea what the plan was. And I remember thinking one day, I love yoga. Like, why don't I just make some yoga mats and I could maybe sell them at this studio that I've been working at, because I had been working at the studio cleaning like for trade. And so I made them like these custom mats and just kind of like showed the owner. I was like, yo, like, do you like these? And he was like, yeah. So that ended up like, you know, really giving me,
it was like snowballing from there.
Yeah, and it all just kind of went on from there. And so from Arizona to California, I was in Arizona for 4 years, and when I graduated, I was like, I need to get out of here, just because I felt like my college self was there, and a lot of like my college lifestyle was there, like the drinking, the partying, there's just like a lot of fun.
You outgrew it.
Yes, and I just felt like I needed to be in a new place to really start off this journey and be the new person I needed to be as like an entrepreneur and starting this company. So I went to California, but my issue in California is that I didn't have a plan with what I was doing. It was just kind of like doing it because I felt like that was the right move. You know, everybody says like, oh, you go to LA and things get amazing, and like meanwhile, it was the middle of the pandemic when I got there, so I think it was August of 2020. So I ended up staying there until February of 2021. And in December of 2020, I had got a call from Sean, who is my best friend's brother. And basically, I remember him telling me about everything that they were working on over at Chimera, which is like the warehouse, production studios, everything like that. And I remember being like, damn, like, that sounds pretty fucking sick. Like, the people that were around me in California were not driven in the same way, not entrepreneurs, not really following their own passions, you know, so it's hard to be passionate when the people around you are not passionate and excited.
You really don't realize that the people around you, if they're not on the same level, not even like career-wise, because everyone goes at their own pace, but like you have to be around like-minded individuals, people that want, whether it's, you know, being an entrepreneur, they have certain goals, like you have to be around those type of like-minded people, because if you're not, it's going to hinder you. And half the time you don't even realize it's hindering you until things are already happening. You're like, okay, this is not where I need to be in my life. Like, I'm trying to be here. I can't be, you know, doing or associating with what's less than where I'm trying to go.
Yeah, and I think, so when I had come back here, I got that call from Sean in December, and we had been talking about making hoodies, just like some merch and stuff to add onto my website, because obviously like the yoga mats are like my main thing. But I wanted to just like add some merch because it was something I was kind of excited about, and I wanted to make some like little hoodies I've been working on, and it felt like, it was so weird because it almost like brought me to want to go to Chimera for the first time, right? Because the boys were going to be making me stuff at Grapevine and manufacturing those hoodies for me. And I came back here December of 2020, and that was literally last year, right? It's so crazy, like literally almost a year ago. And insane. And I went to Chimera for the first time, and I walk in there and I meet Frank, right? And immediately upon meeting Frank and sitting down with him and Sean and talking, I was like, this is where I need to be. Everything in me knew that that was where I needed to be, no matter how hard I knew that decision was going to be, because I loved California at the time. I didn't have any issues with the people I was living with. we were all doing really well, and I was very happy with them, and I loved them so much. But I knew in that moment, I was sitting in Sean's office with Frank and Sean, and we were all talking and just talking about what our plans are, what our goals are, and just, you know, shooting the shit. And that was a moment, I think, that literally changed my life. I remember being like, I have to go back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And there was a part of me, right, where you just asked, that was like, I felt like a failure almost when I came back, even though it was a choice. Like, I know I want to be back here. I felt like, damn, I really did all this. I moved out by myself. I was gone for 5 years, and now I'm coming back to this place. It almost felt like I came back to the starting point. You know, I felt like I went around the track 10 times, but now we're at a new race almost, you know? So it was like an ego hit, kind of. But it was really good, like in the best way. I don't know how to explain it.
Kind of like trial and error, you know, to be honest. You know, you learn things. Like, I'm getting back into trading, you know, and also working on some new brands and working on some sneakers and stuff like that, you know, but like, even, it's almost like from like moving, you know, but like last year, the last 2 years, you know, I did all these things that I'm about to redo over again, you know, but I learned so much from those experiences. I've grown so much from when I came from zero, you know, so even if I went all the way back home, you know, like, and I went back to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, you know, where I'm originally from, you know, I always said, like, I'll never go back there, you know, but like, if I went back there, you know, like, my situation would be still different, you know, because I develop a, you know, like I guess like a different mindset, you know, going into it. So it's just like all the trial and error that we learned from those mistakes, you know, because even if you was here or you was in LA, I feel like you would still be successful, you know, because now you have another mindset.
Yeah, I agree. There's this one quote, I can't remember how it goes. It's like, you never step into the same river twice because you are not the same man and the river is not the same river. And I love that quote because, I don't know, every day is so different and we become a newer version of ourselves every single day and we're constantly evolving. And like, I think that's just like the most beautiful part of life is the ability to always be changing and always be growing and always be evolving, you know, and not getting caught in like that ego mindset of like, oh, well, if I do this, then I'm going to be going backwards. And I feel like that's just like caught in fear of thinking that you're not deserving of like the abundance that is in front of you and like trusting that you are making the right decisions, you know?
You're always on this, you know, continuous journey too. At the end of the day, because I was talking to my guy Aldron, my friends last night, you know, and I'm like, dang, remember when we was really trading and we was going to Dallas, we was doing all these things, you know, and we was just really on this journey, you know, and then I was like, this year I was like, okay, I'm on this another journey this year, you know, and things continue to change and I continue to grow and get around new people, you know, like, and this is exactly where I'm supposed to be at, you know, like, I always think like, all right, I'm getting older now, it's like, you know, but I feel like that my subconscious is always telling me things that is not supposed, you know, like, I it's almost like that fear, you know, because our brain, you know, and when you get around, like I try to stay away from like stress or negativity and stuff like that because our subconscious will kind of like take it in. And next thing you know, we're chasing it, you know, like a sponge and stuff. That's what you said, like this stuff like that. That really kind of stuck with me, you know.
The mind is. I'm currently reading a book called Powerful Thinking by Joyce Meyer, and she's a Christian preacher, but you don't really realize what you're thinking and how it affects what you're actually doing. And you know, that just personally, like I had to realize like some of the thoughts, like you have to be very careful with what you're thinking because you'll manifest that in your life. And you know, despite you feeling like, oh, you know, maybe I don't really want to come back to Pittsburgh, like you knew that one, you're not the same person you were when you left, you know, to go to college, and two, you obviously felt something very strongly about Chimera and the people there. That energy that made you, you know what, I'm going to come back and it's going to be beneficial. You know, you're a different person and you went into it with that positive mindset and, you know, you don't regret it, obviously. You're still here, you know, so like it was beneficial for you. But what do you have, now that we're into 2022 and we're only, you know, 5 days in, what do you see 2022 being for you, or what are your goals for this year and the things that you have going on?
So every new year, I've been trying to. Obviously, I set goals. I set goals every month and like set intentions every month, like with new moons. Because like in like spirituality and I don't know, I'm a pretty spiritual person. So like when there's a new moon, I set new intentions, and then in the full moon is like when the intentions are supposed to be like coming into fruition. So I set new intentions like monthly, basically. Yeah, and I guess my like main intention of this year, I try to use like one word that describes like my main focus of what I'm trying to do. And this year I see myself as like blooming, like flourishing, like this is my moment to really shine. And I feel that energy like coming to me. Just because last year felt more of like, I remember leaving California at the beginning of last year thinking to myself, holy shit, I need to put my head in the dirt and fucking move. Like, I knew I had to get working. I knew I had to start getting fucking serious about what it was that I was doing, taking care of myself, going to the gym. Like 2020 obviously couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything. For me, that took a lot out of me, not being able to go to the gym, not being able to go to yoga classes and be out and be social.
You had to readjust to like what society, everyone did. You had to readjust to what the normal was. Because a whole pandemic shifted things for still even now, you know, over a year and a half. And so you had to just get back in, essentially like reinvent yourself from like what that normal was from COVID to, okay, now things are a little bit lighter. You know, it's still there, but now you're actually allowed to go do the things you want to do the things that make you you, that help you better yourself and where you want to go. Yeah, and I felt like last year was like, holy shit, I need to get back to basics almost. Like I felt like I had learned so much and I knew so much and I cultivated all of this amazing information in the last few years, but I wasn't implementing any of it, really, truthfully, and like living out that kind of a lifestyle. Whereas like coming back here, I remember setting the intention for myself, like you need to put your head in the dirt and get moving and do what you can to make your life better, right? And I think now I'm really in this like amazing position because obviously like I work with the legal and I love the things that we're working on. We have like a lot of big goals and plans that are coming along this year and coming into fruition the next few years. So that's super exciting. And yeah, I guess my word is bloom because like I'm ready to kind of show the world like myself, truly myself, because I think I thought I was doing that before, but now I'm so conscious of like the person that I am and like I hit that base level of understanding like, okay, like I've been working for the last year, taking care of my mind, my body, my soul, and really diving deep into each of those aspects of myself so I can be like a full person. So yeah, this year I really want to express myself more and like I'm writing a book because I'm really excited about that. And like it's interesting, when I was a child, like never thought that I was good at writing. I never thought that I liked reading. And when I started getting back into basics, I realized how much reading and writing were so important to me. And I realized how fucking good I was at it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write a goddamn book. I love reading a good book, but I have to be like, it has to speak to me in a way that I'm going to hear, like understand what it's about. Like I read a lot of purpose books or like books that I think are gonna help benefit me as a person or change my mindset or, you know, like.
What's your favorite book?
Authentically, Uniquely You, as of right now. It's by Joyce Meyer, but like just how she talks and how she uses her words, like it incorporates religion, but not to where it's like just scripture after scripture after scripture. Like she actually speaks to you, but she ties in real life things. And I find that beneficial. I want to understand that I can still live my life and be who I want to be without having to act a certain way because that's what the Bible, and I don't want to get like too religious, but like that's what the Bible, you know what I mean? Like just, you know, you can still incorporate those lessons, but like, you know, still have your faith and still go about your day. So it's a really good book, and it's just, you know, talking about being yourself and embracing who you are, and that's, you know, kind of what you're talking about is that you know, you were someone when you went to Arizona. You were someone else when you were in California. And when you got back to Pittsburgh, you're now like you said, blooming into who you want to be and who you are. And it's almost like you took every step was a different chapter, and like now that's like it created who you are now. I like that blooming.
I look at like the idea of, okay, so the last like 3 years, and I feel like this is almost like a collective feeling that I'm experiencing with like a lot of the people in my life have like a very similar feeling. And I saw a picture on Instagram the other day that also like really expressed it, which is kind of crazy. But the idea of 2020 was like planting the seeds, right? So I think during 2020 we had so much downtime to just really kind of reevaluate what our priorities were and really go in deep mentally with like what it is that we're doing in our lives and why we're doing it, right? When you have time to just kind of slow down and relax and really prioritize what's important, it allows you to like plant the right seeds. And then I felt like 2020 was the time where the seeds were being watered, you know, and like being in a really good community of people and having amazing people around you, like all the boys in my life especially, like I've seen how being around them, each of them water me so much. And now I feel like 2022 is like the blooming because I've been watered, the seeds have been sowed, the time has been spent, the patience has been waiting, you know, and this is the time. It's so cool.
What would you, RJ, say that you're, because I like that how you have one word to describe how you see this year going. What would be one word that you, like one adjective or, you know, just like her word is blooming, what would be a word for you that would describe what you want this year to be or what you see this year being?
Probably just growth, to be honest. You know, I just felt like, you know, like, I felt like, even when I was a little bit younger, you know, like, I felt like society was, you know, like, molding me into where I'm supposed to be this person. I'm supposed to graduate this time. I'm supposed to get married at this time. I'm supposed to have kids at this time. I'm supposed to have my life together, my job. I'm supposed to have all these things together, you know, and a lot of people, I feel like, they wanted me to grow up when they wanted me to grow up, you know, and they wanted me to develop and be this person, and I just wasn't, you know, and like, and I feel like that a lot of us, we grow up in different environments, you know, and things mold us into those people, you know, and even learning, you know, going into the new year, you just said, I got a lot of things that I gotta take a step back from and more think about my self-development and what I'm doing and you know, the energy that I'm putting out, and you know, and I just feel like part of that word for me would probably be growth, you know.
Yeah. What about you, Mark?
I don't know. I like a part of me wants to say growth too, but I think last year was my time for growth. So I don't have a word, but I would say I would use a phrase, maybe just taking action.
I like that.
You know, like just not actually putting in the work to whether it's personal, business, whatever the case is, just actually putting in the work. Like not just saying I'm gonna do it, but like getting off my ass and just doing it, you know? Like last night I said I wanted to go to the gym this morning. I didn't want to go, but I went.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to, you know, I try to write my journal a couple times a week. I try to, you know, write my affirmations and be grateful for, you know, the life I have. Or I want to, you know, try to pray every night. Like just, not just saying I'm going to do something.
Yes.
But like actually doing it, you know? And so I think, especially with where I see my life and where I see my future and where I personally want to go, I need to stop talking so much about it and like actually take action.
That was one of the biggest lessons I learned out of last year, and I think because I was surrounded by so many people and one of the closest people to me, very big talker, right? Like the most eloquent with words, one of the most intelligent people I've ever met, but never action oriented, right? So it's like, it's crazy when you are around people that are action oriented, like every one of those boys at Chimera, fucking there every day. They're working their asses off every day. That's why I knew I needed to be around them, right? Because they are so action oriented, no matter what, things are getting done. No matter how you're feeling, no matter what you're experiencing, they're still doing.
Even if it's little.
Literally. Things are still moving,
yeah,
right?
Not every day is going to be a big production. But even those little actions, those little movements, they help form into your bigger goal.
Yeah.
You know, they help transform your ideas into, and like you said, they're still working.
Yeah.
Things are still getting done, doesn't matter how you're feeling or whatever. And I think that was a big takeaway for you last year. I think that is my takeaway this year. Like I just need to stop saying I'm gonna do something and just like actually put my money where my mouth is and get things done.
Do you guys feel like social media kind of I feel this way, right? Where social media almost brings out this importance of the things that people are talking about, and like the importance of like that like personal feeling of like doing something great just by the things that you're saying on this platform. You know what I mean? Rather than like putting the actions behind what it is that you need to be doing in your like day to day. Do you ever experience that where you feel like there's just almost like a facade sometimes that people put on because there are only words and pictures on social media?
Well, I feel like I was with my dude Rockstar Jay the other day, and he said something in one of his songs. He said something like, you know, well, they gotta be on the internet because he's a guy in real life, you know. And what I realized, you know, is like a lot of us, you know, which I respected that is, you know, a lot of us, even though I work, everything I do on social media, I'm really out here doing it in real life, you know. But I know a lot of people that don't even on social media at all, you know, it's just really grinding it out, you know. But then there's those people that are on just social media and that's just all they really doing, you know. And it's just a lot of cap in there, you know. And I feel like they're just not doing a lot of things they want to do, but. And plus social media can be very draining, you know, but I just realized with the Swavey and the music and where we want to go, we have to consistently be on there, even if I don't want to be on there.
Yeah, I think, like I know certain people that even though sometimes I feel like there is that facade on social media, I actually do know they are doing the work behind the scene because I actually have interactions with them. I know them not just from a social media perspective, but it's also hard because you see what people are doing on social media, and you know, I'm not gonna say him, but I know myself, I don't include my worst days on social media. Like, and I don't think a lot of people do. Like social media, unless it's like a major news platform, we show what we want people to see. We show the happy or the good or the exciting or the fun. It's very rare that you see people actually showing like the dark, the unhappy, the struggle. And I think that's a problem with social media is that not everything is peaches and cream.
Sunshine and rainbows isn't all the fucking time.
It's not reality. And I try not to take, you know, we have conversation all the time about social media, and I try not to take things too serious because it's just social media. What matters is the people closest to you, the people closest to me, the people closest to him. That's what really matters because they know you, not some fake Instagram account or not someone that is a fan or someone that's bashing your music or like, you know what I mean? Like it's just, that's not important. But I do see that. I think a lot of people, they see other people, whether they're celebrities or just someone they know that has a lot of following, you know, that, and they think, oh, I have to do this or I have to be this or I have to show myself. And there's days where I am very active on social media, and then there's days where I'm just like, I have no desire to entertain anybody, to be on there.
You gotta realize is that social media, it's like filters in these labels. It's all fake. You know, and a lot of people, and I know a lot of these things because I see social media and then I'll meet people in real life.
And you're like, whoa.
And I'm like, whoa. And
I swear.
You know, and even social media, just like with the TikTok and everything like that, it's putting us in a depression mindset because we see things. It's like, okay, why my life is not like that, you know, but really their life is not like that, and that's why I put out the album, which was the good, the bad, the ugly. You know, because I really wanted to show kind of like all sides. But on another thing, we had a conversation last night. Is that these labels? It's like for Skechers, for example, you know, like nobody wants to rock them. You know, they're like, you know, this isn't like the cool thing to rock. I'm like, I would never rock a Skechers. But let's take that S off the sock and it's just a white sock. I'll rock it. You know, but like the labels, like whether you have fake Louis Vuitton or Gucci or whatever the brand is, you know, and we kind of like live by those labels, and them labels don't even matter. They don't matter at all what you have on, you know. But like people think that they matter, and they put you in this group like, oh, you gotta have the new AirPods, and you gotta have the new iPhone, you gotta have the newest car, you know. And then the people that are behind, we're trying to catch up, and you know, and that's why we're the community. You know, why we're still in that middle class and we can't get anywhere else because it's not real.
I think that you said something about comparison, right? Comparison is the thief of joy is like one of those like really big quotes, you know, that's been said a lot. And I think that we need to be using social media because obviously there's positive and negative to everything in life. Everything is based off of polarity in the universe we live in, right? So like there obviously is positives that we can be obtaining through social media. So like if you're getting inspired by people, that's fucking amazing. If you're getting inspired, great. But if you are comparing yourself to your life versus their life and almost creating your life based off of what you see from someone else, right? If you don't actually like the Gucci, if you don't like the products, if you don't like the Amiri jeans because you like the quality of the jeans and you're just wearing them, post a picture, like, why? What is the point in that?
There is that book I was telling you about, Authentically Uniquely You. There was a quote, and I don't know it verbatim, but she basically said, you can't wish that you were someone else because God made you that way for a reason.
I love that.
And I think what life is about is finding your purpose and being fully devoted to what that is, because I'm not going to be an artist. I'm not going to be a rapper. I compare myself, to him and the success that he's had with his music. I can't sing.
Yeah.
I can't wish that I can because I wasn't born that way.
Yeah, like that isn't your special gift.
Exactly. That's not my special gift. That's his special gift.
Yeah.
And like, especially with social media, we can't wish that we had someone's life or we had someone's lifestyle or who they're with or the people they're around. God gave that to them for a reason.
Yeah.
And eventually we'll find our purpose to know, okay, all that wishing and all that comparison that I was doing, it was pointless because this right here is what I was meant to do. I think that's really powerful, and I wish more people thought like that.
You see what, I talk about this all the time, is that I'm not a big fan of putting on a bunch of jewelry, and stuff like that, but I know that people don't take me serious unless I do. It's like, me coming into this year, like last year, I'm trying to put on whatever designer jackets on and put on the jewelry, and have my hair always twisted up and stuff like that. And I always had a camera on me, and realized that I already knew that my music was going where I needed to go. Like every time I drop another album, it gets better. But I realized that if I don't do what they want me to do, then like, hey, well, Jeezz ain't a rapper, because people want to be kind of like us, like we live in that fantasy land, like, he got to fly his chain or he got to fly his watch. And really what I'm trying to put out in the Pittsburgh is that I'm not talking about that type of stuff, because now it doesn't matter to me no more. Like, I just want you to relate to what I'm saying to you,
people really knew him.
You don't need it. I want to wear the sweatpants and
it's not about the fucking chains. That's not something that, if it is something, right, if you like jewelry, if you like that type of drip, if that's something that you feel like expresses who your ultimate self is, by all means, like, I like wearing dumb jewelry. I wear a fuck ton of jewelry all the time, but that's literally just who I am, like, it's always who I've been. And I definitely agree with that idea, because I think that in each profession, in each kind of zone of life that people are all in, right, I've noticed this a lot of conversations I've had with producers and artists, very similar, like talking about, I need the big chain, or I need the rollie and all these things. And it is very interesting to think that, like, why is that, like, the way that you gauge the amount of someone's, like, artistic ability on what their fucking chain looks like? Look at fucking J. Cole. He literally has dreads and wears a dirty ass shirt.
I think, in my opinion, he's the only one, if not one of the few, that don't care about the gaudy stuff. But the reason that society thinks that, you're a rapper, you have to dress like that, is because you see the big time rappers and they're flashy. Not all of them, but majority of them are like that.
Yeah, he did that because he was different before.
He did that until you realize that it didn't make him. Because I realized, like, I have this one watch, it looks like it's $250,000 watch, but it really cost me $100. And I'll wear it sometimes, and I've gotten to a situation where, like, somebody would try to rob me for it, and when I bring it out, people look at me and they see it, and I see how people light up. I've seen how people light up, and
treat them differently.
And they'll look at me and be like, $100,000, and I have to keep it around, like, it's a $100 watch.
It gives me chills.
I was like, if I had this watch and it was $200,000-$300,000, I wouldn't be in here, and I wouldn't be wearing it, and I wouldn't be flashing like that, because, like, I would put that into a house and some equity.
Yeah, swear.
Society is teaching the younger generation that, I got a watch, or like, they looked at him differently, all because of two pieces of jewelry around his neck.
Yeah.
If they weren't there,
they wouldn't rob me.
They wouldn't even given him any mind, and it's sad because it's basically setting the younger generation up to have this mindset, like you said, that you have to be flashy, that you have to be gaudy, that you have to show people that
things, right? Like, I hate the idea that like society creates around the things being more important than like relationships and being more important than the person that you fucking show up as in your life. Like, at the end of the day, we're all going to die anyways, right? So like, what are you going to do with that watch? What are you going to do with all that jewelry? What are you going to do with your fucking Aston Martin? I get those are things that you want and that you like and that you want to achieve, right? They could be your goals. They could be the things that help you move forward in your successes and your career. But like, at the end of the day, what truly matters is what kind of fucking person you are, how you show up, how people perceive you, the way that you affect the world around you.
The legacy that you're leaving behind.
We don't talk about that shit.
I tell him all the time that this is what matters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, social media, like you said, it has its benefits and it can really help your brand, your music, whatever it is that you're doing entrepreneur-wise. Social media can help it tenfold.
No doubt.
But the relationships you have with other people, the people that show up on a consistent basis, not just when you're popping, not just when you have all this money and this success, you know, and also, like you said, like a legacy that you leave behind. I want Swavey to be an empire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to build something that, you know, for my future and my future kids, like, they're set.
Yeah.
And I can just chill.
I ain't getting the calls no more. You know, like, what she was saying, not to cut you off, but like, I realized when I dropped the album, it was booming.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was calling my phone, text messages, Instagram.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to, you know, let me in. Now that I haven't been dropping that music like this, I've been working on these videos and behind the scenes, and I'm not so active on social media. Them calls ain't coming no more.
Not as much.
Like, some text messages ain't coming. I'll reach out, they're not saying nothing to me. You know, like, and I got guys that were calling me, not to put anybody on the spot, they were calling me every single day, and now I ain't hearing from them. You know, but like, wait till I do it again, or wait till the next show I'll do it again. You know, and now they're not talking to me.
They always do.
For them. You know, and I tell him again all the time, like, there's people that are consistent when you're not doing stuff. Yeah. Like the people closest to him and stuff like that, and your friends. And then there's people that only come out to show you love when, he's succeeding. Oh, let me pop out and show you.
Let me hop on that bandwagon real quick.
Just ride it.
As soon as I stop posting as much, you're just not on my dick anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, now I've been laying low for a while now, really only like fucking with my friends, only fucking with people that are closest to me, like my main circle, and not really anyone outside of that. And it's so weird to see that, like, I'm not getting that same energy anymore from those extras, you know?
It's also really nice because it shows you, point blank period, who really cares about you and who is just caring about you because they see it's going to benefit them. You know, they don't really care about you and your success like true friends do. They care about, oh, well, how is this going to benefit me? Or, you know, let me come around, let me go to his show, let me, you know, who am I going to meet there? Like, how's it going to benefit me? Yeah. And a lot of people are jealous. The envy is crazy, and social media does not help that at all. Like you said, comparison and, you know, wanting what people have, and that envy, that jealousy, instead of just being like, you know what, he just dropped an album, good for him. I'm going to support him because that's what I should do. Why wouldn't I? Instead, like you were talking about earlier, people see it as competition. You know, they don't want to support you because they see you as competition instead of, like you said, just showing love because you want to show love.
Yeah, they don't want me to win. I don't know why it is. You know,
but that's only gonna like eventually it'll come into fruition to where it'll benefit you tenfold for all the love that you've shown other people and other artists and other brands and entrepreneurs, and that's good karma. Yeah, that's good karma. It's gonna come back to you in, you know, full circle.
It's exactly what I was thinking, right? Like, no matter what, right? Everything is energy. So when you are putting out positive energy consistently and you refuse to allow yourself to put negative energy out, you are going to be getting that energy back. And that is just the law of attraction. That is the law of the fucking universe. Like, that is how things work, you know? So if you continuously put out that positive energy, you continue to put out that love, and like really only stay focused on the people that are giving you that love back consistently and really and genuinely, then you're going to be thriving, right? Like,
how could you not?
How could you not, right? Like, it's unnecessary to even worry about. I think when you get those kinds of messages, kind of like what you're saying, like when people are only there when you're popping or, you know, hitting you up or whatever, that's, you know, they say that thing about, that's why, like, the Lambo has, like, 2 seats and the bus got 30, you know? Right. But it's true, right? Like, as you get more successful and as you gain more traction in your life, you start to realize like the importance of the people that are really fucking there, and the importance of the small circle and the real, genuine, deep relationships. And outside of that, it's like, I'm grateful for your support. I'm grateful that you're sending me the good vibes. Like, thank you. Goodbye.
Appreciative.
You know?
Yeah, be appreciative 100% because there's still that effort there.
Yeah.
Even though you know the reason behind the effort, it's still effort.
That's still not your problem though,
exactly.
right? If someone else has an intention that is negative, it doesn't mean that your intention behind how you feel about them or what kind of energy you give back to them doesn't need to be negative.
No.
You know, because you don't have to care about what they're thinking. You don't have to care about how they're living their life. It doesn't have to bother you.
Even if someone, you know, comes to your show and shows support, but you know that they didn't want to perform for whatever reason there.
And they just came, right?
They just came because they came. Thank you, appreciate you coming, but you know what it is.
Still put that good shit out there.
There are those people, like, there's some people that I see that pull up, they don't even care out of attention, they be in the background, and I haven't seen them forever, you know, and they just come out and show love. And I like the people that, you know, I got some friends that pay full price for products, and when I'm like, hey, I'll give you the discount, cut it off, and they're like, no, I just want to pay the full price.
I love that
you know,
shit.
Or they'll pay for the tickets, and I've given out lots of free tickets, you know, and I sold a bunch of tickets too, you know, and, you know, just for like, I could see between what's genuine and what's real, and when and people don't think that I can see it, you know, or I haven't been around, you know, long enough to do that, you know, but that's just the vibes, you know.
Yeah, especially with Swavey, like it's when people watch our, you know, our podcast, it could be 2 views, it could be 50 views, like you still did it, and that's still, you know, we support it, and I think, you know, people, like I said, people don't want to see you win, you know, they don't want to see you become, we were talking about it in our last podcast, I saw a quote, it basically said the reason that people don't like to see where you're going is because they realize that you guys started out at the same spot and they're still there and you're not. And it's so true. How many people do, maybe each of us in our own lives, know people that we started off at the same place with, and now we're in completely different paths, and maybe you're doing better than someone else.
Yeah, playing 2 different games almost.
And people don't know how to just accept it, be happy for you, and just move on.
Yeah.
They take that as a shot. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to support him because I had someone that, when we started Swavey, reach out to me and, you know, oh, I thought we were going to do that together.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about. And it's just like, I mean, we talked about it, but like, things happened here, you know? And so
they started their brand just to start it, and then they did, and it was kind of cool too, you know. Like, and then don't even. That was like 6-7 months ago. They haven't posted one thing since.
They
see the action.
They started one, and then it fell off. And you know, for whatever reason, that's, you know, not our business. You know, wish you well, but it was just like, instead of just being happy for me that I realized that I don't want to work that 9 to 5. I don't want to be stuck in an office or behind a desk. I know that I was meant for something more. I just didn't know what it was. And it wasn't until Swavey was brought into my life that I knew I am my own boss. Instead of just being happy, you know, you say that instead. It's just like, it's like a backhanded compliment.
You'll continue to take L's.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You said something about people don't want to see you win. And I feel like it has less to do about seeing you win, right? I think it has less to do with that than it does more so for the person feeling like on the other side that they are not doing as much, right? It's an insecurity. It's coming from their place of lack of self-love and lack of own personal drive and lack of own personal purpose. So it's like, ultimately everyone sees everyone else as mirrors, right? Like we're all just living our lives through seeing other people. And I think a lot of times even relationships have nothing to do with the other person. It's like how they make us feel, right? Everything is our own personal movie. So I don't think it has anything to do about them not wanting to see us win, even though that's how it does become perceived in our minds, right? Because that's how we're experiencing it, because I do feel the same way a lot of times. But I'm trying to find that perspective of understanding that they are just not driven. They aren't as following in their highest self. They aren't in their purpose. They aren't living their best life. So they are obviously insecure. They're obviously jealous. They obviously are living in fear because they don't think that they're good enough. Because if you did, you would be making the moves. You would be doing the things. You would be moving.
And like I said, you know, you said for yourself, you planted the seeds, and now this year you're blooming. Like I said, or in like you said, you know, growth is what you you would label this year as for you. For me, it's taking action. We can't just talk about what we want to do anymore. You know, like if I want to be successful, if I want to create this financial stability that I know in my mind that I want, I have to actually do it. No matter if he's doing, you know, he pops off with his music, you know, or, you know, you with your, you know, your book and other things you have doing, like that, what other people are doing should be motivation for you.
Yeah.
You're afraid to take an L.
I agree.
People are, you take these, the biggest life that I'm reading, you know, is that, you know, like our gifts, you know, for like working hard is like, it's kind of like for working harder. You know, like, you know, every time I work hard I'm like, oh, you know what, I should be celebrating. I was like, no, you know, like now I gotta work harder.
Yeah.
But people don't realize is that we're gonna take 100 L's before we get a W. We can get 100 L's before we get a yes, you know. But people get that first L and they're like, I can't get past it, you know. And they need another L and I can't get past it, you know. Like I just continue to keep failing, and I failed a lot. I've been falling on my face over and over and over with my brand, with my music, with my life, you know, and even on other aspects, you know, realizing that I'm gonna continue to take L's until I get to where I want to get to. But when I get there, you know, it's gonna be a different feeling, you know, because as soon as I get a W, I'm like, okay, that L was not all that bad.
Just, you know, like even in movies, like there's not all movies, but like majority of movies that are put out into the world have a happy ending.
Yeah.
Somewhat. So like you said, your life is your own movie. So like you're gonna go through the bad times, the good times, and everything like that. But in the end, you know, you'll be where you're supposed to be at, God willing. And I think that's really important for, like you said, people to just appreciate the lessons, appreciate the journey, because you'll look back 10, 15 years from now and been like, all the crying, all the suffering, all the hard work, like all the L's and stuff that we took made us.
You don't want to be on your deathbed and regret anything.
Like, oh, this is worth it, you know? I think that is why, like, I love being a part of Illegal, because just having Frank as like a leader, he is like the king of following that kind of path, right? Like, I don't give a fuck what I'm going to be experiencing, what I'm going to be enduring, what's going to happen. I'm not going to take the L. I'm just going to learn from what obstacle is coming to me, and I'm going to keep moving forward.
He sets the tone.
He does, and for me, I think I really needed someone that was like that visionary in my life to kind of like set the goal of what needs to be attained, because it's easy for me to like figure out like what the strategy is behind that goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like it's easier for me to stay focused when I see someone else that's already on that road, you know, and that keeps moving. And I see that like with Sean too, and with Fred and with Jeezz, like everyone experiences those.
You guys are next.
Yeah.
Sean, Frank, and Jeezz.
You don't have an ego.
Yeah.
You know, you're okay with everyone has a role, everyone has a place, and it benefits you just seeing someone have it together, being a leader, and then it allows you to follow and, you know, do better and to keep, you know, putting yourself out there and be the best version of yourself that you can be. That's what's also hard, is the ego.
Yeah.
You know, like we have a brand together. I have no problem letting him do his thing and, you know, talk to people and, you know, be the face. I like being behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I don't have an ego. I don't need to be in front of the camera. I don't need to be doing any of that. He's better at that than I am. A lot of people don't have that. They want that same attention. They want, oh, well, he's getting all the love. Well, this is mine too. You know what I mean? Like it's not like that. It's very rare that you find a group of people that don't have egos, that don't have that jealousy, that envy, that we all want to see each other win. You know, he started the phrase Swavey family. You know, and to him, Swavey means family.
Yeah.
And he surrounds himself with like-minded people that support. There is no envy, there is no jealousy, and I think the more people actually took the time and looked around to see who's around them,
that is the key.
You might be weeding out some people that have some of those qualities that you're like, no, that's not really going to benefit where I'm going.
Yeah.
You know, like it should be all about love and acceptance, and you know, you have what you're good at, I have what I'm good at, and together, you know, you guys make it work.
And the truth is that like when you do have a community around you of people that are all have like a very similar mindset and a very similar goal structure, when you work together, the amount of shit that can be accomplished together is just so like, I have been working by myself, right? Only on my brand, only under my by myself, you know, in Arizona and in California. It felt like I was the only person, like I was in my own world and nobody else understood the things that I was going through or why I was doing the things that I was doing, because they couldn't comprehend what I was doing, you know, like they weren't really making the same actions I was making and weren't interested in the same things I was interested in. And through being around people that are like-minded and through being around people that do have that growth mindset and are interested in seeing everyone else win and like wanting the whole fucking family to eat, you know, like you eat and I eat, but if we're not eating, we're not eating, and that's like it, you know. And it's like this agreement that we all kind of have, and like that is like one thing that I wish for fucking everyone in your life to be successful, is to just have the right people around you that are willing to not eat when you're not eating, that are willing to give you food when they're eating, you know, like that shit's so important.
Being selfless is a really good quality no matter what aspect of your life, business, personal, doesn't matter, because that's really what the journey is all about. How can you benefit someone? How can you make someone else's day? How can you benefit someone else's life? You know, I think the more people that have that mindset and the more that, you know, we show love and we show that empathy and we really show true, genuine support, other people will eventually catch on and show that too. And that's just going to be a trickle effect. You know, it'll happen to the next person, the next person, the next person. And like you said, we all can eat. You know, it's not just like, oh, only you can eat and no one else. There's room for everybody at the table to benefit and to, you know, make money and to be successful and to live out their dreams and goals and everything. So
and who the fuck does want to be lonely at the top, right? Like, how do you want to get to this? Like, I feel like there's a lot of people that when they're on that road to success, right, and you just cut everyone off because you're like, I'm going to do this myself. And I think there's been a lot of times in my own life where I'm like, I'm going to do it myself, fuck it, I don't need anyone else. And I feel like it's almost like you're blocking yourself off from the abundance of like potential in front of you with other people. Because when you do have the right people around and you are putting that positive energy out, it's going to be coming back from the right people and from the right places. Like, you want to be like experiencing like love while you're at the top, you know? Like, there's so many celebrities that have been famous and rich and make all this money and what are still fucking miserable and overdose on drugs.
Genuine.
Yes, and it goes back to like being a whole person, making that your priority prior to getting the jewelry, getting the car, getting all the shit. Like, you want to find that group of people, you want to find that love, you want to experience that love, create that love before you even think about anything else. And I think that is like the most important part of life, is like being the person that deserves all the amazing things, living the life that like you could be sharing with other people and giving to other people,
it's
you know?
Giving, not receiving. Any last words? We could be here all day talking.
Anything else you want to tell the people who saw?
About yourself, about your business.
I don't really know if I have anything else.
Follow her on Instagram. We'll put her handles here. You're always welcome back on our podcast.
Super nice talking to you guys.
This is conversations we need to
I feel like we went pretty deep in, so like that's not really have anything else to say, because I'm really happy with the way that we all just kind of.
Oh, we're happy.
Yeah, we appreciate you know, coming on our podcast, and you know, this is definitely this is the start to a good day. You know, like this was a good conversation needed to be had, and you know, a lot of positivity, a lot of love, a lot of genuine good vibes, and
I'm glad that's what we got, because that was the intention I set before coming in here. I was like, I'm setting this intention for it to be like a positive space and to bring the love. I guess one thing I would say is to just love yourself, love other people, allow yourself to express yourself. Allow yourself to share your gifts, your passions, your talents with the world. Stop being so insecure. Stop hating on other people and just go internally. Work on what you need to work on and focus on you, because that will make you happy and successful and make life worthwhile.
And I think on that note, we're going to end it. So thank you everyone for tuning in to episode 11 of our Swavey Podcast. We'll be back next time for episode 12. Again, my name is Marlena.
Big Bone.
Swavey King.